PolyNome 2.2.9 has a lot of new features regarding practice reminders, notifications, and the practice log. So the first thing you'll notice if you go to Preferences in the menu is under Notifications, there's a new option for Daily Practice Reminder. So you can turn this on and set the time to be reminded every day to practice. In Missed Practice Reminder, you can choose how many days PolyNome should wait to remind you that you've forgotten to practice. So maybe if you haven't practiced for 4 days, you want a little tap on the shoulder. You can obviously turn this off if you don't want to be bugged. The Achievements option will notify you when you beat certain records, the most practice you've done in the day or a week or a month, or when you've practiced for a certain number of days in a row. The daily, weekly, and monthly summaries will give you notifications about how much practice you did in the last day, the last week, and the last month, and compare those to how much practice you did the previous day, the previous week, and the previous month. In previous versions of PolyNome, you either viewed the practice log from the menu here, and it automatically filtered on everything for all tempos and all times, or from the practice event editor, you could tap on the timer icon and view practice log from there. But again, it would filter on everything at all tempos and all times. There are new ways to get to the practice log. You can tap on a preset name and choose practice log, and this will filter on that particular preset. So I can just see when I last logged something for this preset and how much time I've spent on it in total. If you go to the presets library, you can select multiple presets that you're interested in. Tap on the Actions button and view practice log, and that will show you practice events for those selected presets. On the playlist page, you can tap the playlist name and choose practice log, and that will filter on the currently opened playlist. And finally, in Playlist Manager, you can select either a specific playlist and click Actions, view practice log, or you can choose multiple playlists and tap Actions and view practice log. So those are all very useful ways of finding out the last time you worked on a certain preset or playlist, how much time you've spent on those items, which tempos you've worked on them. So that's a really good way of finding out what you've worked on to give you an idea of what you need to work on. In the practice log, there are a lot of changes. When you're filtering on everything, the date range and the BPM range are automatically set to the earliest event, latest event, lowest tempo and highest tempo. There are new items in the statistics view. You can see the last logged event. Last log today, we did 43 seconds at tempos 50 to 191. And if you tap this row, it will show you those events. The second row is all events logged for the current filters. So we're filtering on everything, but you can tap on everything and choose to filter on just daily log notes or the currently loaded preset or the currently loaded playlist. But for everything, today I've logged 43 seconds, yesterday I logged nothing, so we're up. This week I only logged 55 seconds, and last week I logged an hour and 55 minutes, so we're down by a lot. But this 30 days I'm up 25% from the previous 30 days. So these 4 rows here give you a good indicator of whether you're keeping up with your practice schedule. The practice report row, if you tap this, you can view the summary report, which just shows you how much time you spent on different presets and playlists. A detailed report will give you the exact times and tempos for each of the items in a playlist, and only events with notes will just show you the events for which you added specific notes. In the charts view, there's a new chart for playlists. So we have at the top amount of time per day, and at the moment we're viewing all time, but you can tap this and let's just choose month. So this is the practice I've done this month, And you can use the arrows here to go back a month. So in January, that's the amount of practice I did per day. This is how that time was spread between different presets. This is how the time was spread between different playlists. And this is how the time was spread between different tempos. At the moment, we're grouping by 1 BPM, but I can group by 5 or 10 BPM. So I can see where I'm spending most of my time in this area, 50 to 170 BPM. If you go back to the main page, you can change this tempo range to something that you're maybe more interested in. So I'll set the minimum to be 50, and I'll set the maximum to be 250. And now when we view charts and look at the tempo, this is a bit more usable, so I need to do more work at these higher tempos. So this is a really nice way to see which presets you've been working on over different months and see how much time you've been spending per day over different months. You can quickly set the date range that you want to view up here by tapping the date range label. So you can choose to filter on today, or you can choose to filter in the last 7 days or the last 30 days. And that's changing these date options here. And finally, there's an option in current filters to exclude a tag. So you can show all events in your practice log that don't have the tag, for example, Dave's band. And you can tap the change tag option that appears to choose the tag that you want to exclude. So you may have a tag in here for students, and perhaps you would assign that tag to all exercises that you're using with your drum students. And when you're viewing your own practice log, you don't want to view those items. So they're the new notifications and practice log features in PolyNome 2.2.9.